What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Way Too Fast, and today we're going to be looking at the Ret Paladin skin for the artifact weapon. But before we go ahead and we get in depth with the Ret Paladin one, if you're not aware or part of my channel yet, be sure to subscribe. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm going to be putting up on my channel that I already haven't put up. But first thing I want you to go ahead and do is I want you to look at these videos here. You're going to look up top, and that's going to be the Holy Paladin Artifact Complete Guide that I made. And then also below it is the Prop Paladin Complete Guide I made for the hidden artifact skins for the Paladin classes. So be sure to go ahead and take a look at those. Now let's get into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off by just saying this. These steps need to be done in order. They cannot be done out of order, so be sure to pay attention to the video. I will have a conclusion at the end of the video along with a link to Wowhead with a pretty decent guide that I've kind of been using during this. But obviously a lot of people like to do things visually, like myself. So first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be going into Alterac Valley to obtain Nat Pagle's Guide to Extreme Angling. This drops off of other players' bodies pretty much when you loot them for the scraps and the gold and things of that nature. So what you want to go ahead and do is you need to go ahead and place yourself in a very large, PvP fight like what we have here in Galv's room. Horde is defending and we're attacking, so it's a great place to go ahead and pretty much just wait around for the fight to clear out. Hopefully your team's strong enough and you can just go around and loot the bodies and just cross your fingers that you're going to go ahead and get it. And you're going to see here, boom, I went ahead and got it. So one thing to go ahead and make sure is that there's a lot of other paladins doing this. So normally I play Holy, which is ranged from the group. I found myself not being able to loot the bodies quick enough because other Ret Paladins and Prop Paladins were, going ahead and looting the bodies. Go in as Prot or Ret, so that way when you kill things, you're already on top of the body, you can loot them and move on to the next one. But I was able to get the book on my first AV that I did, and I was able to move on to the next step. So let's go ahead and move on to step 2. Okay, so step 2 is going to take you on a long journey to Feralis, where you're going to go and look for a little dusty tome inside Dire Maul. Now, why they're having us go here, I don't really understand, to be honest with you, but what we're going to be looking for is a dusty tome in any of the Dire Maul dungeons. And inside that dusty tome is going to be a thoroughly read copy of Nat Pagle's Guide to Extreme Angling, the copy of it. I do know somewhere along the line, I have not found 100% truth, which obviously you really won't with WoW and data mining and things of that nature, but apparently these books have specific spawn locations. I just ran every single Dire Maul, the West, the Warpwood, things of that nature, and I just looked in every nook and cranny for a book, and I managed to go ahead and find it in the Warpwood quarters, in the big, green room with all the plants and the big tree. And it's a red book. You cannot miss it. It is a red book. As you can see here, it's not hard to find. So once you go ahead and get that, you can go ahead and we'll move on to step 3 then. Now, real quick before we move on to step 3, I just want to go ahead and show you guys that these books can also be bought on the auction house. If you don't want to go ahead and waste your time running around, go ahead and buy them on the auction house. I have a lot of gold, but I figured I would at least go ahead and try and obtain them the correct way, just so you guys can go ahead and see. It's very easy to do, but just be aware if you want to go ahead and save yourself some time, you can buy these on the auction house. Okay, so for step 3, we're going to be going back to the times of vanilla, just like how we had to go back to Dire Maul, which was a vanilla dungeon. We are going to be going to kill Nefarian inside the Blackwing Lair to loot the head of Nefarian. So you're honestly going to go in, tank and spank, just run through it. It's level 60. If you've done vanilla like I have, you know what you need to do. Most people do come across and have issues with the first boss because it's not really like a tank and spank fight. There is a mechanic that you have to go ahead and smash eggs and mind control things, and I'm not going to get into it, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to save you guys a lot of time, and I'm going to put a link down below to show you how it's actually done. Now, it's not my video, but this is the video that I used because obviously when you solo it, it's a lot different than doing it with 40 people. But to get back on topic here, you just need to go into Blackwing Lair and kill Nefarian and loot the head. But when you loot the head, do not, and I mean do not, complete the quest. It's unrelated to the actual quest line / the obtainable line for the hidden artifact for Paladin. So if you complete the quest, you're going to have to wait an entire lockout to go ahead and basically do it again. So go in, kill him, hold on to the head, and then you're going to go ahead and move on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is basically going to take place in your class order hall. You're going to be looking for your girlfriend's sister, Elda, and you're basically going to go ahead and give her the books to get a better book. But in order for you to have the dialogue populate, you need to make sure that you respect ret. Now, I just obviously wanted to make sure that my loot specialization was set to ret as well, just to make sure there's no issues or anything like that. But after I respect ret, I was able to get the quest dialogue to pop up for her to be able to pop the books, and then she does all her magic. And what she'll do is she'll give you the complete copy of Nat Pagle's Guide to Extreme Angling. Now, one of the biggest issues with this hidden quest line that everyone seems to not understand, you need to have level 6 for your artifact knowledge level. Like, if you are not level 6, none of this will happen. You will be able to get the books, you'll be able to get the head off Nefarian in Blackwing Lair, but you will not be able to start the dialogue to move on to the next steps from Sister Elda. So that's one thing that you need to make sure that you have, is your artifact knowledge level at level 6. Item level doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. You just need to make sure that you're, level 6 for your artifact knowledge. So you'll see here I'm talking. I have no more quest dialogue, and I have the complete book, and I still have Nefarian's head. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to go on and move to the next step. Okay, so the next step is going to be a pain in the ass. Again, we are going to be going back to Dire Maul, but we are going to be going to Dire Maul West specifically. We are going to be speaking to Prince Tortheldrin, and pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to give him the completed book that we got from Elsa, and we're also going to be giving him Nefarian's head finally. So what you're going to want to go ahead and do is you're going to go ahead and run through it all, use the door that's behind Tendrous Warpwood, go down the hall, turn right, and then go into the next hall, and then he's going to be under the platform. If you're in the library, you're gonna know he's in that area down there. So be sure to go ahead, talk with him. He's gonna take your books away, and then basically it's gonna seem like the actual quest ends, but I'm here to show you that it doesn't end, and then we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is actually going to go ahead and take you to Western Plagued Lands. You're going to be going to Chillwind Camp, where you are going to speak with Alexa Ironknife. Now, for the Horde, you're going to be talking to Bardu Sharpeye, but he is located in the Bulwark that's in Tristful Glades. Just so if you're Horde and you're watching this, you know where to go. You want to go to the Bulwark that's in Tristful Glades and talk to Bardu Sharpeye. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to go through all the dialogue. We're going back here. We're at Alexa Ironknife right now. And she's going to go ahead and send you up to Hearthglen, which is also in Western Plagued Lands. You are going to go ahead and read a book on the table, which you're going to see here shortly. And that book is going to go ahead and give you a bunch of dialogue for, the quest line, some of the lore. Like I said, depending on what you want to go ahead and do with the story, if you're really big into the lore, this is something that you're going to want to go ahead and look into and read very carefully. I plan on going ahead, like I said before, and learning more about the lore behind this, because I don't understand thoroughly like all the steps in this and why it's related to Ret Paladins and things of that nature. But let's get back on topic here. So we just arrived at Hearthglen, and we're going to go ahead over to the left here, and it's pretty much would be their City Hall building. And you're going to go ahead and read the Grand Inquisitor's Isolidin's journal. And it's not hard to miss. You're going to see it right here in front of me, and you're going to open it, and you're going to go ahead and go through the dialogue and read about it and things of that nature. And then pretty much you're at another dead hole. Like, you don't really know where to go, and that's where the data mining from the WoW community came in, and they pretty much said, hey, this is the next step. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step, shall we? Okay, so the next thing you're going to be going ahead and doing is you're going to be killing a large vial of slime that's next to the Tortheldrin River in western Pagle lands. Now, this is actually located south of Hearthglen, which is where you just were, so be sure to go ahead down there and look for it. Now, the best way to obtain it is to go ahead and go into LFG. Do not use server hop. It will not work. It's garbage for what we're trying to do here. And in the search item menu, go ahead and type in vial or slime, and you will eventually find a group of paladins that basically on their server they have the actual slime up where they're killing it. That's exactly what I did. It took about a half an hour or so for me to find it. And also, it is now cross-faction. It has unlimited tags, so whether, you know, there's Horde and Alliance, they're killing it, just get one little bit of damage on it, and you'll be able to loot your item you need. Now, once you go ahead and loot Tomillion's item off of the large vial slime, you can go ahead and right-click it, and it's going to spawn Tomillion himself. Now, you're going to go ahead and talk with him. You're going to go ahead and go through all of the dialogue. Now, I'm not entirely sure what the dialogue says. Honestly, at this point through the quest chain, I was just so fed up with running around and doing everything. I just said, screw it, I'll read it later on to catch up on the lore. But what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to be left in the dark. You're not going to know what really to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to fish up the Shard of Darkness for some light. What you need to go ahead and do is you need to basically fish up the Shard of Darkness from the Tortheldrin River. Just some key things you need to go ahead and know. Your fishing skill level does not matter. You can be level 1, level 700. It's not going to matter. Also, as long as your character's location says Tortheldrin River, you will be able to have the chance to fish up the Shard of Darkness. Now, people are claiming that, you know, it took them about 500 to 1,000 casts. Some people are claiming that they have fish buddies stating that they've done 4,000 casts. I'm not entirely sure, you know, if there's anything to really help with this because it's RNG based and it's just fishing. But just so you know, it took me 463 casts. I did go from fishing level 1 to 350 because I usually don't fish on this character. And you can see here I have a bunch of fish and potion, things of that nature that I went ahead and fished up. So it did take me a couple hours just on and off between raiding and PvP and real life stuff. But eventually I was able to get it, and now we can finally move on to the final steps. Okay, so what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to go back to Dalaran as Paladin, obviously, and you're going to go to your class order hall where you're going to go ahead and speak with Lord Maxwell Tyrosus with the shard, obviously. If you don't have the shard, you will not see this dialogue that you're getting. So when you have the shard, you'll go through the dialogue, and you'll go ahead and you will get the legendary quest that pops up for you to go forth and complete, you know, the rest of the quest line to go ahead and get the Heart of Corruption. One thing that is very, very, very important. Obviously, you saw Lord Maxwell is around the, you know, the table / mission board with the rest of the other followers. But the most important thing with this, if you do not see him, it is because he is on a mission. He cannot be on a mission in order for him to, like, actually obviously be there. If he's on a mission out in the fucking world, you're not going to see him at the damn table. So make sure that if you know that you're going to try and do this within like one day, because it is quite possible to go ahead and get all this within one day if you're great with RNG and you have the time, just leave him off the missions. Just let him sit at the table, wait for, you know, yourself to get to this point to be able to go ahead and complete the quest. So it's going to go ahead and take you out to like a random island near the Broken Shores, and what I would assume is kind of looks like the Death Knight starting areas, just the area where like the Lich King is. You know what I mean? I haven't played Demon Hunt, or sorry, excuse me, not Demon Hunter, Death Knight. So I don't know if this is like their class order hall or not. But what you'll go ahead and do is you will go through a little bit of like an RP thing with Lord Maxwell, and pretty much they explain a little bit about the storyline and what they're doing. One thing that really bothered me the most, I want to say, with this whole entire quest line, it wasn't the RNG, it wasn't going back and forth between fucking, you know, Dalaran and then going to Dire Maul a couple times. Like none of those things. Those things are very easy, especially with flying. One of the biggest issues that I had with this entire quest line is this point right here. As you can see, there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of people talking. But the problem is that there's no voiceovers for this quest. You would think if Blizzard would go and implement hidden artifact skins in the game and go like really in depth with a quest line like this for the Ret Paladin, that they would at least spend at least a day gathering a couple random people in the Blizzard office just to go ahead and do the voiceovers for these people. So I don't know if it's because, you know, I do finger quotations, it's a hidden artifact skin, if Blizzard wasn't expecting people to go ahead and find it out so soon, or they were going to go ahead and implement it into a maybe later patch or something. But that's one of my biggest pet peeves about this entire quest line. Other than that, it's great. It's fun to go around and do this and do that and collect this and collect that. And, you know, the fishing was a pain in the ass. I finally did it. I know a lot of people, when I went and fished, there was people fishing there for multiple days. So I would assume that their casting was probably over the thousands. So you'll see here, I went ahead, did the crystal, and basically Lord Maxwell, you know, made a deal with the fucking devils, you know, at the Ebonhold, and pretty much, you know, say, hey, Heart of Corruption, give it to me now. We've saved your asses in the long run. And we finally go back to our class order hall to finish up. Now we go back and we hang out with Lord Maxwell, and he's got some great news for us. We're going to go ahead and hand in, and pretty much we're going to get our Heart of Corruption for our hidden skin, and that's it. That's pretty much it. All that RNG and waiting around, we finally did it. As usual, I go ahead and go over the appearance colors. So right here is the original hidden appearance color, which is green, when you go ahead and complete the quest line for the hidden artifact as a Ret Paladin. And then the next one is going to be a luscious purple. This is going to be from completing 100 dungeons using this appearance. This is going to be quite a farm. I'm actually halfway through it, believe it or not, just running a bunch of stuff. This one is from completing 200 world quests, which you can see I already have. It is a really, really, really bright red. This has to be one of like the most standing out weapons between this and the one Demon Hunter one that's also red. It looks great. And then last but not least, we have the yellow one, which looks great, obviously, with the Lightbringer set. Kill 1,000 enemy players just using the hidden artifact appearance. You can honestly do that in a very, very short amount of time. But that pretty much does it for what we have for color choice on the artifact appearance. Well, congratulations, guys. You guys officially now have the hidden appearance for Ret Paladins. I hope this video really helped you guys out. Be sure to show some love down below. I really do appreciate it all. And I'll see you guys in the next video.